What's up, guys? Swaggy, you're back. You can also find me over at my brand new channel, Daily Vikings. I saw a video yesterday from Will Upton, and it was about Odell Beckham Jr. signing with the Vikings, or potentially signing, I guess is a better way to phrase it. And it had me thinking that at first glance, it didn't make too much sense. I mean, the Vikings have a salary cap space of $358,261, which obviously is not in the Odell range, not to mention he would want a multi-year contract. But then I start to think about it, and he did play with the Rams, obviously, last season. He won a Super Bowl. And Kevin O'Connell did speak on this and had nothing but good things to say about Beckham, saying, quote, "I give Odell so much credit. He's been such a joy to be around. I said earlier this week that I think the greatest thing for me has been learning about the person. He's an unbelievable person. His teammates love him. And then also he loves football. When you're as talented as Odell is, you love football and your teammates love being around you. In our culture here, you've got a great chance for success because everything else." O'Connell said that about Odell when asked about if the Rams would have won the Super Bowl without him, and obviously they wouldn't have. They wouldn't have made it to the Super Bowl. And in the Super Bowl, I mean, Odell had what, 2 catches for 56 yards and a touchdown at the top of my head. Seems like forever ago when that game was, but the point being is that the Vikings are 5-1. They play in an indoor stadium, something that Odell has done obviously for what, 7+ seasons. Buffalo and Green Bay, those are teams that Odell has been linked to. They do not play in indoor stadiums. So that's an advantage for the Vikings, obviously playing with O'Connell, playing with Kirk Cousins, an efficient level quarterback. He's also playing with Justin Jefferson. Remember last season when Cooper Kupp was out there in the same system and Odell saw success? This makes almost perfect sense. The only concern is, will the Vikings clear cap? Because they absolutely can if they want Odell. I believe if Odell is truly interested in signing here, the Vikings will make it happen, but it's going to come down to Odell. I mean, if the Vikings were told right now that Odell has them at the top of the list, there'd be no question mark they would make something happen here, because Adam Thielen, he's the number 2 receiver on this team, and he's averaging a career low 9.8 yards per catch. I actually am a huge Adam Thielen fan, especially down in the red zone. He's almost unstoppable down there. But Odell averaged 12.2 yards per reception in 14 games between the Browns and Rams. Not the Giants, the Browns and the Rams. KJ Osborne hasn't really done too much this season. Obviously, Irv Smith Jr., we know he's got all the potential in the world, but we're still waiting for it to click. The Vikings are the type of team right now that they have a really good roster, but not a great roster. And I don't really think any Vikings fans would disagree with that. They're 5-1, sure, but that one loss came to the Eagles. I was on my way to class today, and there's someone that I have a couple classes with, and he's a big Eagles fan. He had an Eagle hat on and everything. And I was talking to him, and I was like, the 2 teams that will meet in the NFC Championship, Eagles and the Vikings. I know the 49ers definitely are good. I don't really trust anyone else, though. I don't even trust the 49ers, man. I really don't with Jimmy. Kirk Cousins, obviously. Kirk's a good quarterback. Kirk's a top 15, top 12-ish type of quarterback. You put Odell here, he's going to get even better. We're still waiting for Kirk to obviously play well on the big stage. Again, the Eagles loss was just not a game you really wanted to go out there and play poorly in, but there's still a lot of football left. The Vikings, they're still learning some things. It's going to take a while for them to get this down. But the offense, it's not as explosive as people would like. There aren't too many opportunities outside of Justin Jefferson. Jefferson, he attracts double teams, and that is going to make things a lot easier for Odell when he gets here. He'll be probably ready to go in December. I know they were saying mid-November. It's looking like December now, which is a little bit later than Odell when he signed with the Rams for a little over $1 million. But if you truly think about it, Odell would make a lot of sense in Minnesota. Now, I don't think he's going to sign here. If I had to bet money on it, I'd go with the Chiefs because he's playing with Reed, Mahomes. Obviously, he would be, in my opinion, at least he would be the best receiver on that team. So he gets to play with the best, really, duo, maybe ever. Belichick and Brady, I forgot about that. But Mahomes and Andy Reid. And then Odell gets to go in there and be the number 1. I mean, that would make a lot of sense here. I mean, the Chiefs they actually have a worse record than the Vikings, but the Chiefs have played the last 4 AFC Championship games through Arrowhead. So I do think Odell will go to the Chiefs. But the Vikings, they're a dark horse candidate. I'm being real with you. They're a dark horse candidate. And I believe that Odell should pick them over the Packers. The Packers have a lot of concerns right now. The Vikings have some concerns with the defense and maybe even the lack of explosiveness in the offense, not to mention they haven't really been playing full games. The past several football weeks, the Vikings, they haven't really played two good halves. So that's something that definitely needs to be addressed. But another thing about Odell and the Vikings is his LSU connections. Daniil Hunter, Ed Ingram, Justin Jefferson, Patrick Peterson. This would be a lot of fun. Odell could also mentor a lot of other players on this team. The Vikings have a young O-line. They've got a young KJ Osborne's 25? Could be off in that. He's mid-20. That's young. Justin Jefferson, obviously 23 years old. So if you really think about it, both of these sides could benefit off of each other. Another point that I haven't read in any of these articles is if you bring in Odell, no one else gets him, right? Not only do you get a very talented player, but you prevented the team like the Packers or a team like the Bills that you potentially can meet in the Super Bowl for having Odell. I know that's a huge stretch, and we're literally in late October, or I guess mid-October, with the 21st. But you have to think about the bigger picture here. The Vikings are a Super Bowl contender. I know that sounds weird saying because a lot of Vikings fans didn't feel like they would be this good. A lot of Vikings fans did, give or take. But for me, I had a feeling the Vikings would be really good. Now, I didn't think they'd be 5-1. And I'm not surprised at all they're leading the NFC North. But I am surprised they're 5-1. But bringing in Odell, he just gives you being a step closer to being the best possible team that you can. And I remember when Odell went to the Rams, at the time, he was a luxury. Right now, for the Vikings, they don't really need Odell. Odell would be a luxury. The truth about it. But when Odell did go to the Rams, what did Odell do in those 7 games? I'm trying to find the stat here, guys. Give me a second here. So 27 passes caught in 7 starts for 305 yards and 5 touchdowns. In those 3 playoff games leading up to the Super Bowl, Odell saw 23 targets, 19 catches for 236 yards. And I did get it right exactly. 52 yards, 2 catches, and a touchdown in the Super Bowl before the injury. So from what I've seen, Minnesota Vikings fans would absolutely adore having Odell here. And I would as well. I believe in Kirk Cousins. Now, I don't believe Kirk Cousins is an elite level quarterback, but I believe 100% you can win with Kirk. You remember, I'm not going to compare him to Eli Manning because Eli Manning probably should be a Hall of Famer. It's debatable, but if you put weapons around Kirk Cousins, you give him a pass rush. The Vikings defense obviously needs to get it going here. It has not been that great. The Dolphins game, that they look good against the Dolphins, but it's the no Tua and this and that. But that Bears game you won a few weeks back, they got killed on the ground. The Bears were putting up I forget the number. I'm not gonna guess. I shouldn't be guessing on on any videos, but the Bears were putting up a lot of yards per play, way more than they should, especially because it's the Bears. So should the Vikings sign Odell Beckham Jr.? Yes. Should Odell Beckham Jr. sign with the Vikings? Potentially. I think the Chiefs is the only team. If I'm Odell Beckham Jr. and I'm in his shoes, the Chiefs is the only team I pick over the Vikings. The Bills is it's kind of stupid, being real with you. It's not even about that they have an outdoor stadium. It's just they've got Gabe Davis. They've got Stephon Diggs. Why not go to the Chiefs and be the number 1 and play with Mahomes and Andy Reid? Or why not go to the Vikings and play with Justin Jefferson, who you said he was like a brother to you. They both said that about each other. Play with Kevin O'Connell and what he can bring, create more explosiveness. The Vikings have never won a Super Bowl too. The Rams hadn't either, right? Yeah, so that just makes perfect sense. Maybe, you go to the Chiefs. Odell wants to win. The Chiefs have a better chance than the Vikings. I think everyone knows that. But Odell and the Vikings would be scary. Jefferson doesn't line up anywhere. He moves all around. But Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, these guys can win in one-on-one situations. And it's going to be difficult to double Justin Jefferson too. I feel like everyone would thrive off of Jefferson, man, including Irv Smith. But yeah, it's your boy Swag. You can also find me over my brand new daily Vikings channel. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a blessed day. And Vikings fans, appreciate you for all the support. Like I said, I never thought I'd be making Vikings videos, honestly, man. But awesome fans, awesome team. Hopefully you guys have a really good season and sign Odell, because that would be so much fun. Later.